What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Palworld video. Today, guys, we're going to be going over some of the best ways to get some of the end game loot. Schematics, you can see here, beam launcher schematics, we've got cold resistant ancient armor schematics. So these are all of the schematics that you would find at the end once you hit sort of close to level 80. Now, the best way to do this is to assemble your fishing team. So for our fishing team, we currently have a fully condensed Gloopy, fully condensed Solmara, Solmara Lux, Walaska Ignis, and a level 1 Jelliet. Now you can see here each of them do provide something to fishing. Now if I were to classify one of these guys as the most important, it would definitely be for the Gloopy. The main reason being Gloopy's party effect is that the capture gauge decreases 35% more slowly while the bars are not overlapping during the fishing minigames. So that means that your fishers have less chance of getting away while you're doing the fishing minigame. As well as that, this location out here that we will be farming the resources in is in the world tree. So the area out here is full of hard spots to fish at. So you want to make sure that you've got that Gloopy to try and ease it as much as possible. We then have Solmara Lux as well. So you can see there makes it easier to fish up talented pals. We have Solmara and Solmara Lux. So the same sort of thing here. He makes it easier to fish up talented pals. Now it does say that it doesn't stack, but these two are different pals. So it technically does stack. And then we also have Walaska Ignis, which means the fishing minigame begins with the capture gauge 17% higher than usual, excuse me, and it will refill 17% times quicker. Let me just deal with these. I can't see, I'm blind. There's balls everywhere. Okay, thank you very much. So, we've got those guys, and then Jelliet as well is just a little bit of an extra one. So this just increases the items obtained from fishing by 55%. So if you fish up the chance to get a blueprint, you potentially will get double that, which is really good because it means you can chuck those in the drafting table to combine them to get even higher blueprints. Now also in terms of fishing rod, you want to get with your best fishing rod that you have. So we have the advanced fishing rod, the pen gullet, and then you also want your bait. So we've got the alluring bait. Now these are Grandmaster fishing spots. I would recommend trying to learn the pattern of the fish and the shape that you are fishing up. But the way that I like to try and fish these guys up, or do fishing in general, is you just kind of hover the bar over the line. And as it goes up and down, Solmara and Solmara Lux will eventually cause it to slow down a little bit. And this will allow you to get the gorge quickly filled up. So this paired with Walaska Ignis makes this a much easier process. So one little tip to keep in mind with fishing is when you've got your bar, you kind of want to just keep tapping the primary button to reel in. That way, if the fish moves up or down, you can kind of just release or click and hold your button to increase the bar speed so that you can capture the pal a lot easier. So you can see there, we did just fish up a Gloopy Primo. We got a bunch of Corallimore. We also just got a heat-resistant Ancient Armor Schematic 1. Now, yes, it is uncommon, but once we fish up a couple more powers, we will start seeing a lot more of these resources coming in. So we also got a bunch of stuff that we can use to make money, so we'll hold on to that stuff as well. So we can make our way over here and keep fishing up these guys. Now, you want to look out for the purpley sparkles, the straight purple, oh, that was a mistake, the straight purple beam, and then also the green glow as well. So that will essentially mean that you are going to be fishing up a pal that is really good. So these purple ones mean that they're going to be the alpha stage. The green ones mean that they're going to have one of the prismatic passive skills, so like the rainbow ones. And then the purple solid lines mean that they will have both. So it's very good to make sure that you've got these guys in mind, and you want to try and condense these pals and the party as much as possible to make your time fishing as easy as possible. And you can see just like that, we've gotten ourselves a second Gloopy Primo. We've got some Ancient Spheres, some Diamond, and a bunch of Corallimore. We got 51 Corallimore just from that fishing area. Now you can also fish up standard fish. They don't have to have the glowing stuff. You will still get loot from them. You have a reduced chance of getting the blueprints or the schematics. So just keep that in mind. You obviously won't have as much loot coming in if you don't fish up. And for the same sort of effort, it is probably worth just focusing on those beams that you will see. And you can see here, I'm struggling to catch this one. There we go. There's Solmara and Solmara Lux coming into play. And you can see, there we go, another Gloopy. And you'll see from the, I mean, we still got quite a lot of corallium ingot. We did also get some cold resistant armor schematics. So it just depends on whether or not you actually want to get the PAL that appears there. So this is definitely one of the best ways to get some end game loot and some end game schematics if you are looking to farm them. You will just need a very efficient fishing team, which is pretty much what I've got here. So you can swap out Walaska Ignis for Walaska. Walaska does provide a slightly less amount of the fishing bar overlap effect. I think it's like 5% less than Walaska Ignis. So you can definitely swap him out if you want to. But you can see here, we're not really having too much trouble fishing up these guys here. And we're still getting a bunch of resources as well from doing so. A bunch of corallium ore, even some blueprints from the standard ones. This is my favorite fishing spot in the World Tree area because you are just near that fast travel point and you will get a very clear view as to whether or not the fish in the area are the prismatic. And you can see there we're getting a bunch of relics as well from doing so. Now if you come to a fishing spot and there aren't any of the purple, green or purple beamed ones, all you need to do is fly out of render distance and that will cause them to respawn. So ideally probably worth traveling back to your base to grabbing a PAL that allows you to fly so that you can get out and cover the distance more easily. So what I like to do is fly in between these two spots. If I don't get anything coming out, then I will fly out of render range. You can see these two ponds here also don't have any fish that are in the purple range. So we'll leave. As you can see, this also just connects down to this area below the bridge too. So if you've got a flyer, you can easily just fly up and in between these spots. But the fish spawn all up through this waterway. So all through here, all the way up. And this is a great way to go about getting a bunch of extra loot and to farm up if you want books, if you want schematics. You can see here we've got another green PAL that we're going to fish up here. And obviously the green sparkle and the purple sparkle are much easier to fish up than the solid lined purple. So keep that in mind if you're looking for something in particular. But you can see there we've got the Swift trait and we just got a bunch of corallium ore as well as diamonds. So you want to try and fish up as much of these guys as you can so that you can get as many of these schematics as you want. So I went ahead and spent like an extra couple of minutes just fishing up at some random spots that I found in this area, and you can see the sort of loot that we were getting. Plus, not to mention the powers that we were getting as well, which would be high level powers, which we can also chuck in the power recycling machine to actually get extra resources from them as well. So this is definitely a viable way to get some really good blueprints. You can see here we caught this Scutless Ignis. We got a bunch of decayed relics as well, and we have gotten quite some good handbooks from them as well as a bunch of the schematics, which we can A, condense down into better ones, B, we can use ourselves. You can see there cold resistant ancient armor schematic after catching one of the Scutless Ignises. Super easy to catch. You don't even need to catch, like I've mentioned, the big boy ones or the purple beam ones. You can see there we just got a beam launcher schematic. You can just catch the standard ones as well, and they'll still drop schematics and the good loot for you. So it's definitely worth heading out to the World Tree to actually grab as many of these fishing spots as you can, and just literally spending an hour even or half an hour until you get bored of it, just fishing up a bunch of stuff so you can get a bunch of loot in the process. But guys, that is going to be it from me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you found it useful. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe down below for more. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.